I'm viewing it to see whether the evidence is sufficient enough to find somebody guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, right? That's what the stipulations are. Maybe not. Here are my issues. You have the complainant who meets the mother of your child, and they're supposed to be meeting up some hotel to engage in certain intimacies in exchange for funds. And according to the stipulations, this was all planned out for you to come in and take money. And a gun is pulled on the guy. You want his gold chain. And in the stips, he said you even brought the equipment to determine the clarity of the gold chain. And he did tell the guy, hey, no, I'm not going to shoot you, but I will beat you with this gun. So I don't know if anybody wants to address those for the court, because I find it very concerning as far as it relates to public safety. All right. And we're here for sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
And are both parties prepared to proceed on sentencing? Yes. All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 012572-02 State versus Carl Michael Robinson. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Counsel for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Robinson.
And are you Mr. Robinson?
I am.
All right, you entered a plea to count one on March 16th to robbery of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I believe you applied for deferred adjudication.
We did, Your Honor.
So the court deferred finding of guilt. According to your plea, the state is proceeding on the less included offense of robbery. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 6 years. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
We have, Your Honor.
Any objections from the state or the defense?
Judge, we do have an objection, and I'll do it in the form of an oral motion in limine.
Okay.
My client has expressed how, in the pretrial report, it states about a bunch of pending charges in Arkansas, Kentucky, Kansas, and Oklahoma. None of those have been adjudicated. He doesn't want those cases to be held against him. Obviously, the court knows that he is innocent unless he's proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So, kind of like he expressed it as a motion in limine. We'd ask that the court not hold cases that have not been adjudicated against Mr. Robinson for the purposes of this sentencing.
All right. Any objection to the court reviewing the PSI report so I can review what defense counsel is referring to?
No objection.
No objection.
All right. None of these, I mean, the cases that have disposition unknown, I mean, the court is not going to consider that. I have nothing considering. That's from page 4. Now, from page 5, they have charges, driving while license suspended or suspended license, it says, and it says failure to appear.
And the reason for those failure to appears that appear in the PSI, Your Honor, is because that he's been incarcerated for the past year. So
Okay,
he probably
he's-
missed a court date.
So has he been here since May 20th,
How long have you been in custody?
Since when? That,
2025?
that August 2025.
Roughly approximately August 2025, Your Honor, so there might have been opportunities for him to miss his court date because he was incarcerated.
And he say August
Yes.
2025?
Correct.
All right, so the driving while license suspended, I'm assuming the dates to the left of the charge is the alleged offense date. So that's May. And then the date that says June 17th, 2025. Is that the appearance date? The date he was supposed to appear in Arkansas?
That's the whole issue, Judge. We have no idea how the Arkansas courts or Oklahoma courts or Kansas courts, how they do their docket and how they report things to NCIC. So regardless, Judge, because he has no convictions or any adjudications on those cases, we're just asking the court not to consider those for the purpose of this hearing.
I mean, I can understand not considering the case because no one knows, there's been no, disposition on those cases. But are you saying the same as it relates to his failure to appear? Because they're saying a warrant was issued because he didn't appear.
We don't know for sure, Judge, but I think there could be warrants issued only because he's been incarcerated here for the past 7-8 months.
All right, on the dates on here, it says, and I'm taking the latest date, so I'm moving that in your favor. It has June 17th, 2025, and July 18th, 2025, and July 9th, 2025. So was he in custody in Bear County during those days?
No, Judge, he was not in custody until August 9th, 2025, and he also self-reported that was when he came to Bear County as well, and yes.
Okay, and then there's Garland County, Arkansas. There is a failure to appear for June 12th, 2025. And then it appears that they filed a felony failure to appear. That one I'm not going to consider because that is 10/14/2025. And then the Cleveland, Oklahoma, there's no disposition listed, so I'm not going to consider that.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
Nothing else, Judge. We're ready to proceed.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge, yes, sir.
Defense, any witnesses?
Judge, I do have 2 witnesses, Miss Robinson, his mother, and then Mr. Robinson himself.
All right. If you'll call them up.
Miss Robinson, come on up.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Great. Could you
My
raise
last name is O'Connor, just so.
O'Connor?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just.
No, I appreciate that. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Jenny Michelle O'Connor.
All right, thank you. And if you'll, I know people want to face me when they're speaking, but the court reporter is taking down the record, and I promise I'll hear you, and I won't take it as a sign of disrespect.
Okay.
It will just make it easier for her.
Yeah, proceed, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ma'am, Miss O'Connor.
Yes.
Who's Carl Robinson?
That is my son.
Okay, it's your biological son, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how old is he approximately?
21.
Okay. He is here today for sentencing on a robbery charge. You've heard the cap of 6, and I've explained to you the possibility that the judge could give probation in this particular case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about Carl's background. Can you explain, number one, he graduated from high school, correct?
Correct.
You consider him a very intelligent person.
He's incredibly smart.
Okay, and can you explain to the judge his upbringing? And has he had an easy life, or what kind of life has he had?
I mean, it's been a little unfair, like just the amount of trauma that he had to start off his life with, like from the age of 2 to like 10, and then just like having to grow from that, and then unfortunately other things happened in life, and like just knowing like the anatomy of like your body and stuff like that, and how your brain is, like when you already have that level of trauma, just to be able to like your frontal lobe where you're reasoning and your behavior and all that is naturally developed, and your body is just not developed. And I think he's just, those things have really played a great impact of poor choices that he has made, not to justify any of his behavior.
Can you explain to the court, you're talking about trauma he's had through his childhood? Can you give us a concrete example of what we're talking about?
Well, my mom started molesting him when he was
There you go,
like
Michael.
2 years old. And I didn't find out until he was like 10. And then my daughter's dad apparently did the same thing to him, and the situation got bad between us, and I'm alive today because my son like literally saved my life.
If the judge were to place it on deferred adjudication, do you think that you yourself could help him meet the requirements that probation would require?
Absolutely, like, absolutely,
Would he have a place to live with you or?
of course.
Okay, and you were here in court all morning, correct?
Yes, sir.
There was a co-defendant in this case, a woman by the last name of Santiago,
Yes, sir.
and she received deferred adjudication in this particular case, correct?
Correct. And that is the mother of his two children that are underneath the age of 2.
And she and Carl have 2 children together.
Correct.
Approximately how old are the children?
18 and 1 month. 18 months and 1 month.
Okay. And have you discussed with your son Carl about the possibilities of him being on probation and to actually, get his life together?
Oh, absolutely. And the kids and the kids are a driving force of his recognition of like how his actions are really negatively affecting people's lives that he should be there for.
And do you feel that Carl would be take on his parental responsibilities and
Absolutely.
everything he has to do?
We have 100% discussed that, and we have 100% said that we would love to have 50-50 custody between Akira and Carl.
Okay. Have the courts figured anything about custody yet?
No, Akira is being very hard to work with on this instance.
Anything else you want the judge to know about Carl and his about himself?
He's an incredibly smart young man, and he is only 21 years old, and putting such a long sentence on him really has a negative outlook statistically in life, and I just want my son to have a future.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
So Connor, my name is Lauren Espinoza and I'm one of the attorneys for the state. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions, just answer to the best of your ability. So my first question is, prior to Mr. Robinson living with you in San Antonio, where did he live?
He was in Arkansas.
Okay, do you know who he was living with in April?
He was living with Akira. Unfortunately, the 2 of them they chose to live in a car together. Both
Okay.
Akira, whatever.
Okay, so when he moved to San Antonio, where did he reside?
He originally came to my house. However, Akira tried to show up, and she has stolen from me before and done stuff. And so I told her she wasn't welcomed in the house. And so the 2 of them then went off together.
Do you know where they went?
No, they would sporadically call me and just, cause I worry, so they would sporadically call me and just let me know that they were like alive and okay. And I just knew they was like around abouts in the area.
Okay, so is it a fair statement that you are not fond of Miss Sun?
I would not say that, no. I mean, I believe these are both young children who have both had their own sets of issues in life and that are trying to figure out how to navigate. Akira is a young mother of 2 young children, and that's incredibly hard to deal with. And she hasn't been successful with completing her GED or anything like that. So she had like all that puts hardships and being able to find jobs because you're limited on pay. And so there's just a lot of hardships that these young children are unfortunately have to overcome.
And do you know your son to own a firearm?
No, I don't really approve of firearms.
That wasn't my question. Do you know of him to own one?
No,
So it's your testimony that your son did not possess a firearm.
I am not sure how this is relevant. Well, okay, I don't know. I don't go through my son. I don't search him. So I
Because
didn't.
he's an adult, right?
Right.
And you give him discretion.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So would it surprise you to learn that your son did possess a firearm?
I mean, I've
August
already,
9th?
ma'am, I've seen this case was not exactly is on the news. I mean, people in Arkansas heard this case.
Well, that wasn't my question.
So, I mean, it was in the report, so I knew that at that time.
But so you're aware that it's alleged he possessed a firearm?
Well, yeah, it was in the reports
Okay.
at the paper.
And that was on August 9th, correct?
if, I don't exactly remember, I have a lot going on in my life.
Yeah, okay, you have a lot going on, but you believe that this
I'm
court,
sorry. Okay,
you have a lot going on,
Mhm.
yes. And you want this court to believe that Mr. Robinson will be set up for success, right?
yeah, I'm completing at this time, I'm in nursing school right now, I have a 3.7 GPA, like I'm changing my life and doing a lot of things, so yeah, unfortunately, I do have a life of my own that I have to monitor. That is correct, but however, if my son gets released, if that's what you're asking, will I make sure that he is making better choices and that he's not out carrying firearms and doing inappropriate things? Yes, ma'am.
And how are you going to do that?
I'm going to, as best as you can, you are not in control of anybody else's actions. You're only in control of yourself. You can only lead somebody and guide somebody. It's not up to me to make those decisions. It's up to him. How do I believe that this is different and he's doing better? I talk to him twice a week, every single week, since he's at, like, Bear County is so kind to let you have 2 free phone calls. I appreciate. And we talk in those times and we talk about things. And I do believe there's a thing called jail talk, and I've heard it all before, but I know there is a difference in his whole entire thought process. There's understanding of what he's done.
And you're aware that Mr. Robinson was also an alleged suspect in an incident of the same circumstances that occurred 7 days prior to this present instance, right?
I no, I'm not, but I also believe there's also other details of the case that you're not in highlighting. So if you want to, like, you have to highlight the whole entire thing and not look at one pinpoint, like, is your character witness, is he really a liable source? Or was he actually
That's
committing
not
a
what I
time?
asked in subcon.
No, but that's what I'm
So
saying.
let's move along. Okay.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So your son has 2 children, right? That's what you told this court.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And you testified that his children are a driving force, correct?
Yes,
And that it is these children that Mr. Robinson is realizing his actions affect lives of others, right?
his children and his family. And I have a daughter who he's very, very close with.
Right,
So, and she lives out here, so
right.
it's,
So that is your testimony, right? I don't want to mischaracterize it. Right,
Okay.
so that's what you told this court. So where was the 18-month-old on the offense date, August 9th, 2025?
the 18-month-old was actually in Arkansas because Akira was out here prior in August. And she wasn't, she was stealing from my house, so she had to go back to Arkansas. She decided to leave her own child in Arkansas and travel down here to Texas.
And what date?
And that-
Santiago did that.
That was around his birthday, like in July.
But you just said August.
No, you asked when this incident occurred.
No, I said, where was the 18-month-old in August? You said Arkansas. And you
Right.
said that Miss Santiago.
But she had been out here this whole time. Why are we talking about Akira? We're talking
I'm
about,
talking about the children. Mr. Connor.
okay, Akira, Carl, Akira's mom wasn't allowing Carl to see the children. I am in school. My funds are very, very limited right now. I don't have a lawyer to go up there and deal with that. I'm focused on being able to provide a stable
That's not
environment.
what I
Okay,
think.
so this, understanding the scenario, ma'am, to understand these direct questions of why the child wasn't there, you have to understand the whole picture. You can't just pinpoint one thing to understand a scenario that has been taking place over 2 years.
Yes, ma'am. However, my question was not why, it was where. So you have sufficiently answered that. Thank you. And so this second child, right, that's approximately 1 month old, were you aware that Miss Santiago was pregnant with that second child?
Yeah, I helped her get out of jail, so she wouldn't be pregnant in jail.
No further questions for this witness, Judge.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Now we call, Mr. Robinson.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Carl Robinson.
All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Robinson, can you, tell the court why you think you should get deferred adjudication in this case?
Of course. I could mitigate a couple vast scope of factors, but specifically what I would like to proclaim Ms. Boyd is I have. Let me start, yes, madam.
Oh, take your time. You don't have to rush through it.
When individuals proclaim or promulgate that they have changed, it is usually that of futuristic, that I'm going to change and I'm gonna do this to change it. And what I proclamate is that I have, it's more than external, it's that of internal. It's that of a genuine disappreciation for the nescience that transpires within the masses.
Do you want to take a moment to collect your thoughts? If you want to do that, we can do that. Here's the thing. I want you to present the information to me that you want to present to me and the way that you want to present it. So I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. If you need a moment to collect your thoughts with your attorney, I'm fine with you doing that, okay?
If you want to.
Yeah. So let me give him a chance to collect his thoughts with your attorney, then you can come back, okay? Lauren, we're gonna go back on the record. Are you ready on call Robinson? All right, we're back on the record in 2025 CR 012572-02. Carl Michael Robinson. Can I have parties reannounced?
That's for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Robinson.
All right, Mr. Robinson, you're still under oath, and did you have a chance to think about what you wanted to tell the court?
I did.
All right, do you need any more time?
No.
All right, Mr. DeLeon, you may proceed.
Can you tell the court why you think you should get deferred adjudication?
Certainly, some requesting a chance of external rehabilitation. That's to have an opportunity to be there for my children, all the women dependent on me, and then, you know, and evolve. You know, it is kind of limited, if I may, to evolve in such circumstances. Yeah, I have and did, but simply asking that of you understand that I have a very small record, if not minimal, you know, that of a misdemeanor. And I just feel as if I would proclaim that I qualified and deserve such chance to prove myself to myself and to my family, then again to be there for my children.
Mr. Robinson, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you can meet the qualification, do everything probation tells you to do if you're placed on probation?
Certainly.
And you want to have, you have an infant, you have an 18-month-old child, you want to take care of them, work, be responsible for them, help provide for them.
Yes.
Okay, you said previously, you said that you're only, I think, the only adjudication of a crime is a fail to ID misdemeanor, correct?
Correct. Sir.
Okay, you've never been convicted of a felony in this state or any other.
Correct.
Okay, and if the court places you on deferred adjudication, you and I have had this discussion. If you're placed on deferred and you do not meet the requirements of your deferred adjudication, you can be brought back to court and face anywhere between 2 up to 20 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So if the court gives you that one chance, you understand that if you mess it up, you could be facing 20 years, correct?
Completely comprehensive.
Okay. Anything else you want the court to know?
I will evolve.
When you say you will evolve, does that mean you're gonna become a better person? And
In retrospect, in knowledge and character and any in retrospect, so I will evolve generally. I
Okay.
have evolved therefrom, but I am subject to inevitable evolution.
And, so I have for you, sir, I'll pass the witness.
Hello, Mr. Robinson. My name is Lauren Espinoza and I represent the state. I just have a few questions for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you told the PSI officer you came to San Antonio in August of 2025, correct?
That is correct.
Do you remember the day?
I do not, actually, that is incorrect. I said I came in July, a couple weeks before. If you were to see the PSI, I said I was sick, but
So would it surprise you to learn that in the PSI narrative, it says August? So is that incorrect then, I guess is the question?
I guess that was improperly documented. I got incarcerated on August 9th,
Okay,
or August 8th, one of those days. And yes, I was here a couple weeks before, almost a month. So July is
okay, so you came to San Antonio in July then,
somewhere
Okay.
around that time.
and you were living with your mom for a bit, right?
Correct.
And then where were you living after you stopped residing with your mom?
I was residing hotel to hotel.
Do you recall the names of the hotels?
I do not.
Did the hotel by the name of Best Value Inn sound familiar?
No,
Okay, so approximately August 2nd, 2025, you weren't staying at the Best Value Inn with Miss Santiago?
I do not recall.
Would it surprise you to learn that she rented 2 hotel rooms at that hotel?
It would.
It would surprise you. So it would also be surprising to you that you were seen on surveillance video with her going from room 222 to room 218.
Well, I would have to, I don't know what exact hotel this is, so I don't know exactly what you're specifying. But I understand that this is dehors that to this specific litigation. You're not talking about this transpired.
It's an incident on August 2nd.
Right, this is not the date of August 8th, therefore it is
Right, but
unsubstantial within
you're-
objectivity, correct?
But you're aware that you were alleged to be a suspect of a robbery of a similar nature on August 2nd
Alright.
with Miss Santiago.
Judge, I'm gonna object to the question at this point for the purposes of sentencing, only because he has pled no contest to the substantiated facts that are in the PSI. I don't see the relevance of the questioning for the purposes of sentencing.
Your Honor, the offense report regarding him being a suspect on August 2nd was included in the stipulations, and it does show that he had a firearm and was participating in the same not continuous, but the same course of conduct as the instant offense here, August 9th, 2025.
Right, so here's my question. The questions that you are asking him to commit to, are those for a different offense or this offense?
It's for an incident on August 2nd. That mirrors the exact fact pattern as the August 9th offense that he pled no contest to.
It's not charged with any type of crime for August 2nd, so I don't find that relevant. Plus, this is stipulations. He has stipulated to this, Your Honor.
All right. With regards to relevancy, that's gonna be overruled. However, I don't know if your client is intending to exercise any rights related to that question. Oh,
Okay, so the instant offense here, August 9th, 2025. Do you recall being at a Best Western Plus?
This is accurate
Yeah, on IH10, right? And you were there with whom?
with the mother of my children, Akira Santiago.
Okay, and do you recall being inside the hotel room when the alleged individual complainant came into the room?
Yes,
Okay, now I want to ask you, we found out a little bit about you, right? You have 2 children. Were you thinking of your children on August 9th, 2025?
Object argumentative, Your Honor.
overrule.
You can answer the question.
Was I thinking of my children on this specific date of said transpirance was the question. Yes,
Okay, and did you consider how your actions might affect your children? Or I guess child, you had a 10-month-old.
I could have pondered furthermore.
Okay, so it's your testimony to, or I guess, let me retract that. You are asking the court to grant deferred adjudication, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
What steps are you going to take to better yourself? Or what steps have you taken?
It is an internal switch in which I probably is just that of not partaking in ignorance, if I may, subjecting myself to studies, sophisticating my characteristic rather than again subjecting to the nescience. That of we have 8 hours to be out within this predicament I am subjected to. And I have completely inverted my schedule just to stay up, to study all night, and divert from things that are irrelevant. Such things that is, those are substantial steps, if you ask me. You know, that of studying, that of planning.
Okay, so if you were to be granted probation, you plan to reside with your mother, correct?
Correct,
Which is someone you were living with before, correct?
correct,
And you plan to co-parent with Miss Santiago, correct?
correct.
So how can you be sure you're not going to revert to old habits?
Well, thy will shall be done, and my will is certainly not retroactive transpirances.
And Mr. Robinson, how did you obtain the firearm allegedly used in this offense?
Object to relevance at this point, Judge. It's part of the stipulations.
All right, that will be overruled.
That's the question.
Private cell. That is state.
Private sale?
Yes, a private cell.
Was that in here or in Arkansas?
That was in Texas.
No further questions, Judge.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, I have some questions.
Okay.
And maybe the attorneys can ask it. Number one is, why are people continuing to have children and they don't have their life together?
I can't answer that for you, Judge.
And then number two, I will say this, with regards to this case, nobody has clean hands. It just depends on whether or not the public will be safe with his having probation. And based upon what I'm reading in the stipulations, I have some issues with giving him probation, and maybe somebody can alleviate my concerns, maybe not. Here are my issues. You have the complainant who meets the mother of your child, and they're supposed to be meeting up some hotel to engage in certain intimacies in exchange for funds. And according to the stipulations, this was all planned out for you to come in and take money. And a gun is pulled on the guy. You want his gold chain. And in the stips, he said you even brought the equipment to determine the clarity of the gold chain. And he did tell the guy, hey, no, I'm not going to shoot you, but I will beat you with this gun. So I don't know if anybody wants to address those for the court, because I find it very concerning as far as it relates to public safety. And I don't know if anyone is able to address those concerns. And I know that the co-defendant, the mother of your children, is in Arkansas. She ended up in probation, and I know, but for her, this probably would have never happened, because if she wouldn't have agreed to meet up with him at a hotel, you know, to have intimacies with him instead of you all getting a real job and taking care of the children that y'all decided to birth into this world, we wouldn't be here. So, anybody want to address my
Judge-
concerns or issues?
Judge, I will address, with essentially my closing argument is that Mr. Robinson's 21 years old. Young men make stupid choices, and stupid choices were made in this particular case. However, he has never been convicted of a felony before. He's been convicted of fail to ID one time in some other jurisdiction. He wants that opportunity for deferred adjudication, Your Honor, to prove himself. If he messes up, he is facing 20 years. That will ensure the community that of public safety in this particular case. I don't know if does your brother still live in Arkansas?
No, my mom
Sure.
stays here.
Okay. Regardless, Judge, with a co-defendant who got 5 years, a complainant who got his gold chain back, a complainant who was outdoing, illicit things. Regardless, he wants that opportunity for deferred adjudication. If he messes up, he's gonna be back here. He's gonna get 20 years, up to 20 years under a deferred adjudication. We want that opportunity for him. Like most people, 21-year-old man placed in this position by themselves because of poor choices. He knows that, he gets slapped in the face with the reality of the criminal justice system. He has that one more opportunity, Your Honor, if the court provides him with deferred adjudication, provides him that opportunity to do right, to change his life around. If he doesn't, then he's facing up to 20 years at that point. So we'd ask the court to consider the fact that he has not been adjudicated on any other cases. And in this particular case, even when in the steps, he says, I'm not gonna shoot you, but,
I'll beat you.
I'm paraphrasing and,
I mean, what are you shaking your head for? That's what's in the stipulations.
That is what the witness proclamated, Mrs. Boyd, but that is not.
All right, this is what I'm going to ask you to do for me. Stop using words that have more than 3 syllables that are in no way related to the questions that are being asked of you. So here's the thing. What's in the stipulation is what I go by, because stipulated means, everybody agrees. If this person were to come into court to testify, they're going to say exactly what's in the stipulation. That's when people sign off on this, that's what they're saying. They're saying, you know what? If this witness comes in, they're going to say exactly what's in the stipulations. And when I review the stipulations, I'm viewing it to see whether the evidence is sufficient enough to find somebody guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, right? That's what the stipulations are. And obviously we're here at sentencing, so I have deemed that there's enough evidence that has been presented by the state through way of stipulation for you to be found guilty. So that's what's in the stips that I read. If that's not what I read in the stips, somebody correct me. I'm not going to take offense.
That is what is in the stipulation.
All right,
nothing further, Judge.
state.
Your Honor, we ask that you deny the application for deferred adjudication sentenced to a cap of 6 years in the prison. Defense counsel points to the co-defendant getting 5 years deferred adjudication. However, it was Mr. Robinson that had the firearm and held the complainant at gunpoint. Further, the state would assert that Mr. Robinson does pose a potential risk of flight. Based on the PSI, he does have the 3 fail to appears in Arkansas. For June and July of 2025, which were dates prior to this and shortly before Mr. Robinson did show up in Texas, as he told the court. It's actually July of 2025, not August. So he does pose that risk of flight, and I don't think he would be a good candidate for deferred adjudication. He poses a risk to the community, Judge. We can't have people in our community going around holding people at gunpoint instead of getting jobs to financially support themselves in that way. So for that, we'd ask that you deny his application.
And lastly, Judge, on the court dates in Arkansas in July or wherever. It's all hearsay. We don't know exactly when those court dates are. We don't know anything about whether he was supposed to appear or not appear, if there's a non-appearance docket. We know nothing about that, so. A little nitpicky on the state's interpretation of those dates, but, the main big picture is this young man has never been convicted of a felony before. We're asking for deferred adjudication, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what I can tell everybody. He's going to be convicted of a felony today. So I'm not going to grant your application for deferred adjudication. Now, whether or not I give you probation or not, that's something I still need to think about. So I'm going to find him guilty. And then, counsel, you're available to come back tomorrow by Zoom?
I'll be here.
All right,
I'll
you'll
be in
be
the
here?
courtroom on a different matter, Your Honor.
All right, so the court is going to find you guilty. I'm not going to grant your application for deferred adjudication. And I'll come back tomorrow and let you know whether or not I'll grant probation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge Boyd's courtroom turned intense during the Carl Michael Robinson hearing. What started as a probation discussion quickly became a shocking robbery case filled with emotional testimony, gun allegations, and disturbing details. Prosecutors accused Robinson of planning robberies and threatening victims with a firearm. Family members described years of trauma, abuse, and chaos surrounding the defendant's life. But the most explosive moment came when Judge Boyd slammed the entire situation, saying the robbery appeared fully planned out and criticizing the defendant's life choices. The courtroom fell silent as the judge detailed how the victim was targeted, threatened, and robbed in a calculated setup.